Good morning. It's very early morning. It's just past 6 o'clock. Well, I need to work on this juniper, but I get rash every time I'm poked by the needles. So today I'm wearing a long sleeve. Even this is kind of doubtful. Sometimes you get poked. Well, what happened this last week? It was record heat, so we were up to 106. Today is going to be cooler, maybe slightly below our norm, which will be in the mid 80s. Well, that's the only time I could really work on these without getting armful of rashes. It would be considered more of a Niwaki, or sometimes I call it patio bonsai. It's too big to be a normal bonsai. In a small garden, it would work. It's kind of lost its shape. Well, the main shape is there, but it needs a little bit more clear definition. So that's what I was going to do today, is I was going to clean this thing up so that it'll look like it's supposed to. I think there's too many things that grew. So I'll get the obvious. Well, maybe not obvious to you, but a lot of the stuff that are growing along the trunk, not the branch, should be removed first. So you can see that I'm starting to open it up a little bit here. And then as we turn, like some of these could get removed. Normally, I think I usually do the apex last, start from the bottom and go up. But today I think I'll work from the top and work down. I have a friend that when he does it, well, he claims he starts from the bottom and when he gets to the top, all done. To me, it's not that simple. I'll usually start from the bottom and then kind of go back and forth. So this go around is the rough cut. Oh, yeah, other than these being pokey, also kind of bad if you're allergic or you have hay fever. So towards the end, I might end up wearing a mask. Well, a lot of times these are dusty. Then you could aggravate your allergies more. Well, what I did was last night, I hosed it down. So hopefully I could get through this presentation without having to wear the mask. Well, one good thing about this pandemic that's almost over, I have a lot of masks. I got myself super prepared. Today is the first week in June, and the average temperature should be in the 80s, mid 80s. And today we're hoping we'll be under the norm. Last week we were way over the norm. So we got as high as 106. So that's almost 20 degrees higher than it should have been. Well, it's gone now for us, but those of you that's following me from the East Coast, I guess you have that heat now. Well, one disadvantage of other parts, or one advantage for us, is that we have dry heat. So yeah, so as long as we could stay in the shade, we're okay. But those of you that are suffering now, you have that humidity. I feel for you. That's one of the things I did not like about living in Japan is, summers were, I think I have about a half a dozen of these. This is slightly on the smaller side, some that are taller. Well, I don't want to bring those in because it might, the problem will be the camera is not, the wide angle on the camera is not enough so that I won't be able to get all the tree at one time. Plus, it gets a little bit heavy. And you know me, I'm trying to avoid anything that gets really heavy just so that I don't damage my back. Anyway, so I should have done this when it was cooler, but you know, I'm always behind, right? And this is not one of my favorite projects to work on these. But you'll see when I get done here that this will look really great. Maybe not so much as a bonsai. One is too big. And then for garden use, it might be a little bit small. But I think many times you have a patio that you want to put something interesting. Well, this will, I think, fit that bill. So sometimes I call these patio bonsai. Now, depending on which part of the world you're from, this might already be too big. But in California, we tend to have a big back patio, large concrete with a shade structure over the top. And these will work really great for that. Okay, I did a quick trim. Now you could start to see the structure. This juniper is called procumbens, and actually it's a ground cover. So remember I was telling you how I shaped these? So actually you could even visualize a stake up the middle, and then I tied it so that I got all this movement. This is the back side. I think there's a few branches, lower branches, that may need to be removed. But because I like to have this nice taper, a lot of times I'll keep the lower part. Although these are in protected areas, also good to protect the trunk too. Okay, so as usual, not super neat trim, but I have about a half a dozen of these to do, and I want to get out there and do them before I have to shed the long sleeve. So anyway, this is Hero on the first week of June. Today and tomorrow is going to be relatively cool. But it's been a week ago that we had our record heat of 106, and it should be in the mid 80s. So anyway, this is Hiro saying goodbye. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter. So I'll go put this back and I'll trim the others. You don't need to see me doing the others because basically it's the same thing. The trunk is in place.